Cross with Brian Kelly bringing you this final match, the Women's Cup final for the afternoon. UVic 1 taking on McMaster, and what a great game this is going to be, Brian Kelly.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic weekend of sevens rugby. We are in our 77th game in 2 days, ending with these two fantastic teams coming up here. You have the defending champions from McMaster, led by their resilient captain, Cindy Neles, who featured at the Women's Rugby World Cup last year over in France. Didn't play for the team, but is a dominant leader on this McMaster side. And then UVic, the hometown team, are so strong and very dominant, and they've worked their way all the way to the Cup final here with the names of Tiffany Pickett, Jaden Parhar, Laura Kerr, and Jess Nielsen sort of leading the way. And we're set for this Cup final in the women's event. This one is going to be refereed by Rose Lebreche. We're going to take you to the field here for the Women's University Sevens 2015 Cup final. Doug, take us away.
So here's McMaster with ball in hand off the kickoff from University of Victoria, and already spreading to the edges. First chance, first big touch of the ball out wide, and this is McMaster's winger, Laura Morrison, and she's finally bundled into touch hard. And when I say touch, this is not two-hand touch. They're just hitting the touch line and smashing each other in the tackles.
Fantastic run to start off there by Laura Morrison. Remember, in the sevens game, if you do make it to the finals, it's 2 10-minute halves. So that's an extra 6 minutes of rugby added into it after playing 5 games in the last 36 hours. So these players are going to be exhausted by the end of this.
Cindy Nellis linking midfield now. Another chance. Look at the gaps opening up wide already as we have Ashley Gordon, who's going to score the opening try here for McMaster. Lebreche satisfied, she touched it down, and so this is a strong start by the Ontarians.
And just so much pace there from Gordon. You know, defense playing a big role in the game of sevens. You miss one tackle, and they have a bit of speed breaking through the line. It's going to be try time all day. So as you can see on the replay here, Gordon has a player outside of her, but just shows and gets around her player. Too much pace for Crow Hutchin, and just breaking through for the first score of this Women's Cup final. And the conversion is unsuccessful, so the score now 5 for McMaster, 0 for UVic.
So it'll be McMaster to restart here as they missed the conversion and the 5-0 score here. UVic's going to try and regroup. They've got a lot of time to work with, but they can't give away too many more opportunities like that one presented to Ashley Gordon. It was just a lapse in defense, honestly. And now trying to break through. Some hard charging from number 9, Angela Thompson. There's Julia Folk.
You will hear the referee is Mike. That's Rose Lebreche. And on her touch, you have Andrew McMaster, Sherry Trumbull, Wolf, and Nathan Abdelnauer. So you will be hearing the referee speaking with the players, so keep that in mind around the breakdown, around the tackle area. Big tackle coming from Neles.
That was touch high. Neles doing the quick throw in, very heads-up play. Ball was right there, and that smelled a little forward. Thompson was looking to go, but yeah, the forward pass picked up by Rose Lebreche, and so they'll bring it back and have the scrum, but heads-up play by Neles. You know, that ball doesn't touch the fence and hasn't been interfered with. You can throw it in quick. UVic wasn't there. They weren't ready defensively.
Sevens is all about speed in pace itself, keeping the game going and getting the ball back in as quickly as possible, and just didn't work out with the forward pass. So positioning of the scrum here right at the 50, just shy actually, and scrum down UVic ball.
Cara Galbraith, that was Folk rather, the scrum half, getting that down the line now. Cara Galbraith with it in hand. And all kinds of bodies being committed there. Folk spinning that tight back. A fend off.
Watch
Neles.
This battle all day. That's Tiffany Pickett against Cindy Neles. 2 big bodies, 2 of the bigger, stronger players in this tournament, and they've been so successful all weekend. Watch that matchup the rest of this contest.
Oh, cutting back inside now, some decisive running there. We have a McMaster player on the ground, and she's going to need treatment. She is now slowly getting to her feet.
That's Neles.
And that would be a big blow for McMaster if she was out of this game early. Here is Tiffany Pickett. And a big tackle being put on Laura Crow Hutchin, the captain. Look at her body position. She managed to get that ball back. Now penalty. being called against McMaster while Nellis still down. So essentially it's 7-on-6 right now for UVic, and they're going to exploit that out wide and maybe turn that into some points. Well wrapped by Angela Ashley Gordon, and now this play may be getting a little close to Nellis, and the knock-on sees time off here as Rose Lebrecht says we're going to deal with this. It's been some minutes, and looks like Nellis may stay in the game.
Judging by her character, it would have to be something would have to be broken for her to come off the field. As you can see, she's limping back into play. We'll see how she does in the first few minutes with this injury. Looks like it's her right ankle or lower body of some sort on the right-hand side.
Sean Allen will let her make this decision now, but if she's all of a sudden being compromised defensively, can't keep up, he'll make a change. And, you know, this is the cup final. There's no more rugby left to be played.
Using your substitutions is so important strategically in the cup final. Like I said, 20-minute game, as that is won by McMaster clean.
Seidel getting that now down the line to Ashley Gordon. She scored a lot of big tries, very athletic player, and once she gets up ahead of steam, very hard to stop. See that ball coming around to Svoboda now, Sarah Svoboda. Ball spinning well, good passing, good distribution by McMaster. They just really spread themselves out well. Emily Ricketts now.
Diving on that ball.
That's a heads-up play to get to that ball, but it's ultimately a knock-on. So it's a scrum to UVic, but advantage to McMaster right now. I think they've got the bodies to push the UVic scrum back and interrupt the flow there and cause them to make a mistake here.
Had a chance to speak with both coaching staff before the game in here, and they both told me that their team are in good spirits, not too many injuries, just one to McMaster in one of their players, Fukushima, but everyone else is in good health, good condition, and quite keen to hopefully lift the trophy here tonight.
Showing some guts, passing that ball in front of their own posts, and a miscue could result in an easy 5-pointer now as we see Tiffany Pickett, and she is grabbed hard and awkwardly to the ground there. Folk feeding that back right now. Oh, a couple of big steps there, fooling the McMaster defense, but ultimately bringing to ground Saya Trafford, and now it's a penalty right in front of the post for not for releasing the tackled player. McMaster players, that Nellis down again, and that may be her final time down. I think she's really suffering.
Uh-oh, this is a big loss for McMaster. Her right, looks like ankle is toast, so McMaster will be without their leader for the rest of this game. If you're just joining us, we're 3 minutes and 21 seconds into it.
Yeah, we'll just wait till she gets off the field, okay?
So she's slowly going off the field. Dramatic pictures here as the captain for the team getting taken off the field, and she'll be replaced.
We're just waiting till she gets off the field, okay? Time in.
So Maddie Seidel with the ball. She'll get things underway as the replacement comes on. That's Steph Black, who has replaced
Guys, let's release. Leave it. Move.
Ashley Gordon. Quick tap ball now. Gordon, she'll score! As her shorts are getting ripped off there, Gordon scores a second try for McMaster, gets across the line, and she just spotted the gap, tapped that ball, and went. And so UVic in all kinds of disarray, even though it's McMaster that's lost their key player. Gordon will take the conversion, but looking at the replay, Rose Lebrecht was actually almost a lead blocker on that play as she was giving some instructions to the UVic team, and Gordon just had some 6-7 meters to go before she touched it down.
So a couple of key scores here, and McMaster leading 12-0 here in the first half.
2 minutes left. That means we've already played 8 of the 10 minutes of this first half, and these girls are gassed. They have got to be tired. Ball spinning back to the right now. UVic desperate to get their opening marker here, and that ball just goes into touch, and they just do not seem focused for some reason, and really seem bothered.
Both of these teams played in their semifinals around 11:30 today, so they have had the last 5.5 hours off. They both told me they went back to the hotel, ate some food, looked over some video footage, and had some downtime. So they're trying to get back into this game. And it's so difficult in the game of sevens because you have to get up and then calm back down and then up and down as we see McMaster back on the attack here.
Laura Morrison with the ball in hand. We saw how dangerous she was in the opening moment. She's going to score here, and not before Julia Folk gets a hand on her. But Morrison, we knew she was a speed threat in the opening kickoff there, and she has proven it there as now Ashley Gordon will add the extras, and things starting to get out of control for UVic.
What a play there by Laura Morrison. She got the ball at about the 40 meters out as we await the replay here. And you see, she comes from Gordon. She gets it about 45 meters out, one-on-one, goes around the outside, and watch, she'll stop here and just stun the defense. Watch, and goes again, gets around the outside. Just that little stop, little show and go, that is just enough to stop the defense and get around the outside. As we have the conversion attempt is unsuccessful. So score now 17-0, McMaster over UVic. So the hometown team need a spark here if they're going to want to get back into it.
Coaches will tell you that's one of those it factors. You can't coach the shimmy and the moves that are taking place by some of these players. That's just knowing how to do it or not knowing how to do it, and that's the difference. So UVic now under pressure. They must score the next points. Big gap, open up, and now look at this foot race taking place. Number 8, Alana Cryer. She's eventually brought to ground, but lots of blue shirts coming in support. Maddie Graham, Folk hooking up midfield, and now the full-time buzzer has gone as Laura Crow-Hutchin finds a way around the edge. Will she get first points for UVic? She is nearly brought down, but she stays on her feet. The crowd showing their support. An exhausted Laura Crow-Hutchin touches the ball down for a key try at halftime.
Absolutely exhausted. That was a fantastic play there by Crow-Hutchin. She's in her 5th year and last year with the UVic Vikes. Watch, it's a bobbled pass, and she picks it up right here inside her own half, gets around the outside, chasing it pretty quick is Laura Morrison, just turns on the afterburners and gets around. Watch right here, tripped up, does a really good job to stay on her feet, and then just drops down for the try. So that is the leader, Laura Crow-Hutchin, getting her team back in this. Although the conversion is unsuccessful, we have a 17-5 scoreline heading into the break. 12 points, that's not that far off.
They've got 10 minutes to play with as well, so we'll see what happens in the second frame. You're watching the Women's Cup final here from the National University Sevens Championships. Doug Cross, Brian Kelly back in a moment after this break. Are we going to stay with it?
Stay with it. Let's keep talking here. This is a great event here showcasing sevens rugby and absolute at its finest. Reminder to everyone that we have the Canada Women's Sevens event coming up April 18th, 19th. And that's going to be a great showcase of the World Rugby Women's Sevens Series. Top 12 women's teams in the world on the road to Rio with points up for grabs. Canada, of course, departing first thing tomorrow morning for Atlanta in the next leg of their series. So if you've never been to a Women's Sevens event, this is going to be a great event. And get your tickets at canadasevens.com. It's going to be a fantastic event. We're going to have a festival atmosphere, and there's going to be a lot going on here right at West Hill Stadium and the Canadian Rugby Center of Excellence. And Doug, you have to think that that event coming up April 18th, 19th is going to do a lot to help grow women's rugby in Canada. Absolutely
it is, and you've got world cities attached to this tournament, Dubai and Hong Kong, and Langford is on those cities listed on the world map now. And so what rugby's done for Langford, what Langford's done for rugby, it's a really symbiotic relationship. But the young women that are going to watch us and go, that's a sport I can play and go to the Olympics too. Rising tide floats all boats, and it's only going to help the growth of our game.
At this time, Rugby Canada would like to thank our premier and official sponsors for the University Sevens tournament: DHL, Under Armour, Langara Fishing Adventures, Shawnigan Lake School, Butchart Gardens, the Government of Canada, Gilbert, Merritt, Gowlings, Add Up Display, and the Canadian Rugby Foundation. So going from right to left on your screen is McMaster. A couple of changes on I can see from both teams. And going from left to right in the blue and gold is the UVic home side, trailing 17-5. Brian Kelly along with Doug Cross. Happy to be bringing you this cup final.
Yeah, it looks like Jess Nielsen is on the field for UVic, and she could be an important addition with fresh legs. And, I mean, as fresh as you can be after a day of rugby. But as you said, they got off their feet and have relaxed since the semifinal at midday. And now the impetus is on UVic to really make things happen in this second half. Great presentation, ball back by UVic. Got Ashley Gordon really impressing me defensively. Look, that's the second tackle in as many touches. But now a penalty coming back offside, so Gordon may have been guilty for being a little too cantankerous at the breakdown. So that is Jess Nielsen. Just mentioned that looks like she just came onto the field. And now look at, she's looking around going, well, what are we doing, girls? And not much of a set play going on here. Just straight hands down the line. Cara Galbraith linking up with Folk. Now to midfield. That ball shoots out the back. All kinds of space to play with to their right. Have they got the spread right? I think they might, as an overlap starting to appear. Morrison gets that off her, or no, that's Nielsen. And so she didn't knock it on, it went off her foot. Tiffany Pickett's now shakes off a second tackle and now goes to ground. So Nielsen acting as the scrum half now. That's Laura Crow-Hutchin. She scored that try just before half. Julia Folk trying to get that ball back. So this is about the fourth trip back and forth across this field by UVic. McMaster can't get to the ball, but they're not going to let anyone through. As I say that, Nielsen trying to split a pair of defenders, still on her feet, still fending off, and that's a great cover tackle by number 14, Laura Morrison, for McMaster. Now McMaster with the ball back.
Leave it.
Ashley Gordon thinking about her options, no look pass. Perhaps she should have looked. And now Maddie Seidel. She gets it back to Morrison, and every touch of the ball, they're getting further back, and they're going to be near their goal line soon. And now forward pass as things got a little disjointed. So a real chance for UVic now, this rugby-savvy crowd, anticipating there's something on.
That was a fantastic play there by McMaster. I believe that was Sarah Svoboda just poaching that ball and realizing someone was going to steal it, so just tossing it back to her side. You'll notice that both of these teams are just passing directly sideways. No one's getting go-forward ball. They're just going from sideline to sideline, trying to find a break in the defense, but they're not hitting the ball with any pace. They're taking it standing still, and a lot of their passes are back behind them, which is not allowing them to generate much offense. But we'll see what UVic has here. They've got a good attacking position with plenty of space on this blind side if they want to exploit it.
So, ball coming down the line. That's Galbraith. Bit of an awkward pass. Picked up nicely by Crow-Hutchin. Numbers arriving there. Jess Nielsen. And was that an offside entry by Ashley Thompson? No call coming. She was already pinged for it once, so she doesn't get. Oh! And that had interception all over it. Now, a McMaster foot getting to that. That was a heads-up play by McMaster. And that was Safara Whitley-Hoffliner. And now here's McMaster with the ball in hand and a 17-5 lead.
That's a great tackle there by Galbraith. That would have been a for sure try if she didn't throw her body on the line there.
Pass straight back to Gordon. And now I think that might have been a forward pass as well, but it's passed. And now it's a try here for Svoboda. Sarah Svoboda, one of two Svoboda sisters on this team. And she is really worn out after that try.
Both the Svoboda sisters featuring on Canada's women's under-20 team that has had so much success recently. The entire women's development program recently, winning Nations Cup, winning the recent Can-Am series, winning FISU. As you can see, she just cuts back inside and just breaks through the line, too much pace, and gets around Pickett's and Nielsen and touches down for the try. There's still 5.5 minutes left. conversion attempt is successful, so the score now 24-5. But like we said, this is a long game, still 5.5 minutes to go. If UVic gets a try here, you never know what can happen in the game of sevens.
Yeah, we have seen some dramatic comebacks this weekend on both sides of the tournament. The dramatic comebacks harder to come by when it's the last game of a long tournament and everyone's got tired legs. But that's when things are going to, start breaking out.
This is where you need to start strategically using your subs. This UVic side coached by two fantastic ambassadors for women's rugby, Julianne Zussman, Brittany Waters, both mainstays on Canada's women's 15s team, have also featured on the sevens team the last few years. Both played in the World Cup final last year, so lots of experience in the coaching department as Lauren Kerr breaks in up over the halfway line. Not releasing in the tackle, penalty against McMaster. UVic want to use this ball quickly. They don't have that much time. 4.5 minutes left, and still a few tries needed.
I agree. They're just standing around having conversations when they should be running with the ball. Now they've given plenty of opportunity for McMaster to set their defensive structure. So any hopes of a surprise, and then they drop the ball like that. You can hear the frustration from the crowd as the ball now turned over with McMaster getting the scrum. So too much thinking and maybe more doing. That's what they need to get onto the play sheet here.
And that's why you see so many times in the game of sevens, especially when you're trailing, is a quick tap and go. Quick tap, find support, link up, and you're gone. So now just over the halfway line, we have some more subs coming in for a scrum down for McMaster. And heading off the field there is Steph Black, another player in support for her.
She replaced the injured captain, Cindy Nellis. Nellis isn't the captain of the McMaster team, but an important part of that team, certainly. And now a penalty against UVic, so just not going UVic's way in the last few minutes. They won a penalty against McMaster, did nothing with it. Now here is McMaster on the front foot on the attack as Safara Whitley-Hoffliner is still on the go, and she's going to score from nearly 50 meters out. That's a great individual effort.
So that should ice the win here for McMaster. What an absolute fantastic run there from Safara Whiteley-Hoffner. She tapped quickly and started running across field, waiting for some support, and she said, you know what, I'm just going to go myself. Watch here on the replay. She's running up. There's no one within 10 meters of her. She shows and goes, gets around Folk, and just goes herself. Cuts back inside, fakes one more time, and a fantastic hand fend of Lauren Kerr, and then she just pins her ears back and is gone. So that try should ice the win here for McMaster.
Yeah, Kerr got a face wash indeed as Svoboda puts that across for the extras, and so 31-5. It's a dejected UVic team, and so they should be. I expected more from this UVic team.
This is the 5th year that the University Sevens has been in action, or pardon me, the 6th year, and the 5th year that the women's game has been in, and this could be McMaster's back-to-back if they may stay on the same course.
Well, imagine that McMaster has been training indoors, and this is the first time they've been in open air, and UVic's in their season, and here this Ontario team is really putting the form sheet on the head.
Minute and 45 seconds left in this game.
Ball coming out UVic side finally. Jess Nielsen trying to make something happen, but now just a little mistakes cropping into UVic's game. Another knock on, and here's another chance for McMaster in a dangerous part of the field. Hard over to the right wing for McMaster, and that gives them acres of space to the left, the most popular passing direction, and let the speed merchants run onto that ball.
Just outside of your screen in the warm-up areas, you have UBC and UVic, arch rivals in the game of sevens and 15s. Going to be a fantastic men's final coming up as soon as we are finished with this women's here.
UVic now getting this ball and seeing if they can get another try on the board to mitigate the mini disaster that's occurred here at 31-5. Ball going back by Hansen, and making a brave charge to the line with 40 seconds left. That ball picked up by the captain, Laura Crow-Hutchin. links up with Folk.
Advantage over.
Jaden Parhar now gets it out to number 2, Maddie Graham. And they're still some 20, 30 meters out with a penalty. And you'll see a slow approach here by McMaster as they're just going to spin the ball side to side to kill that last few seconds off the clock. Switch back inside to number 4, Maddie Seidel. And
You had your hand on it. You need to
So in
release the ball.
sevens, you can, or actually in 15s as well, you can place the ball on the ground, get back up, and keep going. But she did not fully release the ball. She just had her hand on top of it and got back up. So that's why referee Rose Lebrecht blew that one down and has given the ball to UVic. But this game is over. This is on the final play. UVic's just going to try and end it with a try.
so clock showing zeros, but the heart
Leave it, Red.
of UVic showing through brightly as McMaster tries to steal this ball. Advantage being played. It's Julia Folk near the line. Oh, and the offload, agonizingly off the fingers. University of Victoria knock on, and that will be the game.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. McMaster's back-to-back national University Sevens championship here at West Hills Stadium in Langford, British Columbia. Congratulations to Coach Sean Allen and Captain Cindy Neles and the entire program for winning it. As you can see, they're celebrating here on the field. And this is a great accomplishment for these young girls.
They are enjoying this victory as I free you from your emancipate you and let Brian Kelly get down there and take a few pictures, and we'll stay with the images as the trophy is about to be presented. And I'll bring you that lineup again. Sarah Svoboda, Emily Ricketts, Cindy Nellis, Maddie Seidel, Steph Black, Ashley Gordon, Laura Morrison, Katie Svoboda, Safara Whiteley Hoffliner, Kaylin Jones, and Selena Seguin on this McMaster team, coached by Sean Allen. Nice to see you, Sean McDonough, coach for RMC, coming to say goodbye. He had a great second day as they won the, I want to say, the plate final. So, a shield final, I believe it was, just looking at my paperwork here. And the two teams congratulating each other, and that is a grim-looking UVic team. A lot of these girls know each other beyond their school teams. They play for each other for BC and Ontario at the provincial level, or maybe playing together on the Canadian team at different times of their careers. So, you know, while there's disappointment, there's certainly respect between the two teams. Well-refereed game by Rose Lebrecht of Ottawa. And we've got a great contest coming up between UBC and University of Victoria for the men's final starting at 6 o'clock. So I'm going to turn the sound off for now as McMaster is wandering well away from the trophy presentation area. I think Jennifer Smart's going to have to run over there with all the victory T-shirts and everything and let them know that their day is not done, that people are waiting for them to receive their trophy. And now I think they're getting the word. But we'll stay with the pictures live now and just reset before the next game as we know people want to see the trophy presentation.
McMaster, if you would please come to this side of the field for your trophy presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, Rugby Canada is proud to present to you your 2015 Women's Cup champions, the McMaster Marauders.
So here come McMaster. Now they realize there's prizes and gifts and everything. They're coming over to get what's owed them, and rightfully so. I'd like to thank all the volunteers that we've had here, and a great job by our camera crew and production team, Shoelle Brown and Sport Canada TV. Bringing you pictures from two fields simultaneously over 2 days. Not an easy job, and to all our announcers too. A big thank you to all the different folks that have slapped on the headset over the last 24 hours. And it's great as we see Cindy Nellis, the captain. I said she wasn't the captain. I didn't see a C next to her name on the list that we had, but indeed she is the captain of this McMaster team as Sandro Fiorino of Rugby Canada awards the trophy. Had a bit of a trophy mishap on the last one. It came apart for I think it was the University of Regina. They split it in two.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for the 2015
She takes it with her
Rugby
teammates
Cup
for
champions, the
a
McMaster
shot that will be shared all over social media, no doubt, in just a few minutes, as that happy bunch of young ladies celebrates their big win. They are Canada's National University Sevens champions, and you can't say enough about what an achievement that is. And we thank you for watching, and we're going to take a quick break and reset for the men's final coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks. Is it through the shirt? Yeah.